Are you coming to Argentina in 2021 and you're wondering what kind of food we have here? Today we're going to tell you 5 foods you must try if you come to Buenos Aires.
These 5 foods we're going to tell you about today are unique to Argentina and we feel are really delicious.
Yeah, you would definitely be missing out if you came here and you didn't try these 5 foods. But before we get into it, go ahead and go below, hit that red subscribe button, and also give us a thumbs up. It really helps us YouTubers because we know you're gonna like what we show you today.
And make sure you stay all the way through the end of the video because at the end we'll give you a beverage bonus round.
All right, is your mouth watering? Are you ready for these delicious Argentine foods?
I'm hungry.
The first one we're going to talk to you about today are Medialunas. Now these are basically small croissants, but they are a little bit sweeter than your typical croissant from France. And they like their Medialunas here so much that there's actually 2 different types that you can order. So if you go into any bakery or any cafe along the sidewalk, they're going to ask you, do you want a Medialuna de manteca or a Medialuna de grasa? And you'll have to let them know which one you want. But my personal favorite is definitely de manteca. So they're a little bit plumpier. They've got a lot more bread inside of them. They're a little bit sweet. So they're basically like croissant, but just a tad bit sweeter. And they're great with your morning drink. So if you have coffee or orange juice, it's great with anything really. Not only do they have them with breakfast, but they also have them usually as an afternoon snack. So it's called merienda here. And that's where they take a small snack in the afternoon to hold them over to dinner time, which is normally about 8:30 or 9 p.m. So a snack is definitely needed. So when you come here, be sure to go to any cafe, any bakery, and maybe order 3 or 4 for yourself and really enjoy them. They're so good. You won't regret it. In fact, you'll probably go back every morning of your trip here just to get some Medialunas.
So the next food you have to try when you come to Argentina is Provoleta. And what Provoleta is, it's a big hunk of provolone cheese that they cook in a cast iron skillet in the oven, and they get it nice and crispy on the top and bottom, and then in the middle it's kind of melted but still firm, and it's delicious. You cut it up and you have it with a piece of bread before your meal. It's usually an appetizer, and they also will typically put a little bit of herbs on top, and it's delicious.
Que rico. Just thinking about it, it's so good. It's definitely a favorite here. So when you come here, you definitely gotta try that.
And you can find Provoleta served everywhere. You can find it at the food trucks all the way up to the high-end steakhouses.
Our third favorite food in Argentina. Do you like sugar? Because I do. It's gonna be Alfajores. And this is basically a cookie dessert here. And what it is 2 shortbread cookies, and in the middle of them, it's a layer of dulce de leche that keeps them together. So good. It's basically a cookie sandwich with dulce de leche in the middle, which is amazing. It's creamy. If they make them well, the cookies are soft, so they hold their shape, but then as soon as they hit your mouth, they crumble. They're buttery soft in your mouth, so good. And sometimes they'll also sprinkle coconut on the outside of the cookie, or they'll even dip the whole cookie in chocolate. So there's lots of different variations, but it's always gonna be 2 shortbread cookies with dulce de leche in the middle.
And speaking of dulce de leche, I think that could probably be its own subcategory of food here in Argentina.
Yeah, they put dulce de leche on a lot of things. Basically, any dessert you can think of, it might have a gob of dulce de leche on top. And in the supermarkets, there's jars and jars and jars. It's like the jam aisle back home. There's just gonna be 18 different brands of dulce de leche. Some have chocolate, some have hazelnut. So there's definitely tons of dulce de leche here, and you can get it anywhere and everywhere.
For number 4 is going to be empanadas. Now, empanadas covers a wide range of different flavors and fillings. And so basically what an empanada is, it's a dough that's been baked and it's got different types of fillings. Usually the most traditional ones are filled with some kind of meat, and also they're really big on cheese-filled empanadas and chocolo, which is a corn cream sauce inside.
And the fillings can also depend on where you are in the country. So a normal filling for empanadas here in BA might differ from if you go to Bariloche and it's filled with a river fish that's local, Or you might go down to Ushuaia and they have delicious crab-filled empanadas. So it can really vary by where you're located in the country. And a side note, they also have empanadas filled with dulce de leche as desserts.
And those are, in my opinion, best when you get them fried. And so they'll offer you to cook the empanada in the oven, or you can get them fried. Lately, we've been really enjoying these fusion type empanadas served by a restaurant called The Stand, and they have everything from cheeseburger to eggplant parmesan to samosas. They really have a whole wide variety of empanadas, and that's been kind of our go-to lately.
The fifth food you must try when you come to Argentina is going to be their meats. Now, I'm sure you know they are famous for their meat, especially their steak, and they're also famous for their choripan, which is a sausage inside of a baguette with some chimichurri sauce on it, which is really good. So when you come down here, you've got to try the meats. For the steaks, you can get anything again from a food truck steak to something on the side of the road, to your higher end steakhouses in the Recoleta or Puerto Madero areas. So really, there's tons of meats to choose from, and you definitely won't be disappointed when you try them.
Any restaurant that you see parrilla on top of, they're serving you steaks.
So before we get to our beverage bonus, why don't you tell us below in the comments what foods you're looking forward to trying when you come here to Argentina? We always love to hear from our audience. All right, bonus beverage time. We actually have 2 bonus beverages for you today.
So the first bonus beverage we're going to talk about is mate. What is mate, you might ask? Mate is a tea that is usually drank in a group setting. It has a flavor of green tea, and it's also drinking out of a cup, a special cup that is also called mate, through a metal straw that's called a bombilla, and you'll typically see people sitting in groups sharing a mate all parts of the day. And so it's very common to be walking around and you'll see someone carrying a thermos and their cup of mate and drinking it, even just walking down the street.
Yeah, mate is huge here. All the porteños drink it, and they like to share it too. So not only will they pour a cup for themselves, but they'll pass that cup around their group of friends or their coworkers if they're in a meeting, or outside when they're with their friends and family on the weekend. So that's something else that makes the mate unique.
And if you really want to experience the Argentine culture, I recommend you at least try 1 cup of mate before you leave.
That brings us to our next beverage, which is more of a nighttime beverage, I'll say. And that's going to be, you might have already guessed it, Malbec. This is actually a bottle of Malbec that we got from our trip to Mendoza, Argentina, which is one of the larger regions for production for Malbec.
And the Malbecs that you find in Argentina are well known, renowned all around the world. You can find them, they're actually pretty cheap when you go out to eat. You can find anywhere from a $7 to $50 bottle of Malbec, and it's really good quality.
Really, the best way to try Malbec is to take a quick 1 or 2 day side trip over to Mendoza and actually experience the wineries for yourself. This way you can taste several different types of Malbec and different years and just get it directly from the source. And they're also a pretty generous pour when you're doing your tastings.
And I must say, in my personal opinion, the wine tastings we've done in Argentina are kind of unique. They're more in an intimate setting. It's not so much of a factory line where they're trying to get you in and out. And they really take their wine serious when you're doing some of these tasting tours.
Yeah, they're proud of their wine, and they should be, because this Malbec is delicious. All right, guys, we hope you enjoyed this video on the 5 foods and 2 beverages that you must try when you come to Argentina. Give us a like below. It really helps us new YouTubers, and subscribe to our channel for more expat content. And we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.